Hello. Today we're going to talk about consolidations and eliminations here in Business Central. I have 4 companies open. The first one here is the consolidation company. So this company does all the work. The consolidation process will take place here. You can enter and post your elimination entries and run a trial balance from here. There are no other transactions that you'd enter in this company. And then I have 3 regular Business Central companies that I need to consolidate. And the consolidation setup in these companies takes the form in the chart of accounts. And your job is to assign the equivalent of the account number from your company over to the account number in the consolidation company. So for this accounts receivable account, I have put in the account number that it's linked to over in the consolidation company. So once I have gone through each of my companies and assigned those translations, then I can come over to my consolidation company. And here is where the rest of the setup takes place. So if I come into or do a search for business units, so I have it bookmarked, in the business units page, this is where you'll assign the companies that you would like to consolidate. And here you'll give your company a code and a name, not much that you need to do here. If you have multi-currency, then we'd be looking for some accounts for the exchange rates. Down at the bottom, the data import will be via database. We will ask you for that company name from Business Central, and then you'll accept the default for the file format. Once you have done that for all of your companies, you are finished here in your consolidation company. So what happens next? Well, now you just enter transactions as normal in your individual companies. I have a couple transactions staged for timing purposes, so let's take a look at those. First, I have sales invoices. So I have one sales invoice here, and this is entered just like a regular sales invoice. There's nothing different about this because of the consolidations, right? Because it's going to come from the account number, it's going to look to the posting group for is that account number to be consolidated or not when we run the process. So I'm just going to go ahead and post this. Now, I did use a sales invoice. It could have started as a sales order. And if you have warehousing set up or whatever your order process is, it'll still flow through the same way. The same holds true for purchases. So I could have a purchase order. Instead, I've started out here as a purchase invoice. And I'm going to purchase some coffee. Nothing different here. I'll just go ahead and post this. Now, the second purchase invoice I have for us isn't an inventory type of purchase. It's just a regular operating type of vendor invoice. So I'm using GL accounts. The same holds true here. As long as these GL accounts have a translation or a consolidated debit and credit account that equals something that's over in the consolidation company, then we're going to be successful when we consolidate. I'm going to go ahead and post these. So throughout the month, I can run the consolidation process as many times as I want. What Business Central will do is if you run it multiple times, each time you run it, it will reverse the original entry and give you a new entry that's all inclusive. So by the end of the month, you won't have multiple entries. You will have one entry for that period. So let's take a look at how the consolidation works. So I'm back here on my business units page, and I have a button here that says consolidate. So I'm asked for a date for consolidation and a document number, and I'll go ahead and press next. And then I have all my companies here. And if I don't want to consolidate all the companies, I just need to uncheck the check boxes for the companies you don't want to include. And then I'll press finish. Now I'm going to be asked if I want to consolidate 3 times, once for each company. So the first company is our Still Rough company, and then we have Super Techie 2, and then we have the Whole Bean 2. So I have a message. My consolidation is successful. Let's take a look at a trial balance. Now, staying right here on the business units page, I can choose related, reports, and there are two trial balances. If you are consolidating 4 or less companies, the trial balance 4 is a nice one because each company is in its own column. So I'm going to come in here and put in the dates that I want to view the trial balance for. If I had other filters, I could go ahead and put that in. I can send this to Excel. It's probably better to do that. It's easier to see it. I'm going to do a preview right here. And it's pretty small, but let me just make it bigger. No, it's too big. Here we go. So what you're looking at is in each column is all the activity for the period for that particular entity. And then it totals our eliminations, because I've had eliminations in other periods, and then a total that's including the eliminations. So as I scroll through here, I will see all kinds of transactions that have taken place throughout the month. All right. Well, now we probably have to have some elimination entries. So elimination entries are just general journals here in Business Central. So I've created a batch called elim, and I created some transactions for us. So after you determine what those entries should be, you'll come in here and enter them as a general journal. Before you post them, there's a nice report to take a look at. It's called the GL Consol Eliminations Report. Again, I'll put in my date range. I do need a journal template and a batch. And then I'm going to show our balance here, and I'll choose preview. Now, what's nice about this is it's showing me my eliminations if I was going to post them, right? So now I can see my totals if they post. So this is a good way for me to check my entries. Once I've determined here that everything is good, I can go ahead and post these entries. Now, there's another report that I want to show you, and it comes from the chart of accounts. Actually, you can navigate and do a search for it, but I typically come here and I'm going to choose reports, other, and then consol trial balance. Again, I've got my date range. If I want any other filters here, I can do that. I'm going to send this one to Excel. Okay, let me just make this a little bigger so that we can all see it. Probably want to do a little bit of formatting on it just really quickly. What's nice about this report is it tells you for each account number which company the entry is coming from. Now, the bold items that you see here will be titles, headings, totals, begin totals, end totals, and then we have individual accounts. So zero balance accounts aren't being shown, even though it looks like they are. So Super Techie 2 has some transactions here. Here's my goods for resale. So I've got 3 entries here. So it's a really nice trial balance that will give you the detail for each individual company. All right. And there you have it, consolidations and eliminations in Business Central.